together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have no peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Oh, sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make a stand. Unify and have a peaceful home. Change is all we need to make a stand. Let's unify and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is my home. And let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Say sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is my home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only, the one and only, the one and only. Woo. Whoa.
Welcome to it. This is LPRO TV, and of course, your viewers would like to welcome you to this brand new edition. This is the prelude of what will be unfolding here on Tuesday and Wednesday. My name is Albert Cornelius Barkley. If you are viewing from around the world, would like to say good morning, good evening. If it's of course very late, we can also say good night, but keep viewing us as well, as we are about to look at some very burning issues in our country. As I said, trending issues in the 2020 midterm senatorial elections in Liberia. It promises to be quite extraordinary as we place the issue in context and look at some of the myriad issues unfolding in our country. Mark Dunn is my boss. Of course, he's here. He's head of Liberian Office of Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. He's live with me in the studio, Mark House.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here this hour. We want to say thank you to all of our viewers that are watching us on Liberia Public Radio Television live on our main studio in Painesville. I want to say thank you, Barclay. You too. Thank you for being with us on LPR TV. So Barclay going to be with us here for some time. He's going to be with us. Let me not say for some time. So he's going to be with us together. We're going to be especially starting with the 2020 special senatorial election. He's going to be Barclay going to be starting two programs here on LPR TV. One is the front lines, and the front lines are hopefully going to be starting next week.
Exactly.
Also, Barclay Remains will be starting on Saturday of this week. Hopefully, those two programs will be on LPR TV. So, I want to say our sincere apology for our many viewers and listeners that we were not being able to do some of our programs from studio here. In a few days, programs usually was coming from the US, from Samson Toll from Sacramento, and Alfonso Zienso from New England, as well as Mazola Gise from Minnesota. So we want to say our sincere apology for that. But however, our Liberian studio is back. The problem in Liberia with power issue,
This is a very important. Is a very important challenge.
according to the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we have four turbines that enable power generation, but unfortunately, we have not been able to see to it that the full electricity is being produced. So, electricity is a little bit of problem in that country. But howbeit, this is not the excuse. We are back.
Yes, of course, bro. Pretty well, Mark. Thanks a lot, of course, for um, the opportunity to be on LPR TV. I like to say it's always a pleasure and an opportunity to be a part of this family. I'm very delighted. I look forward for a moment where we are going to contribute immensely to Liberia rebuilding process as a professional talk show host and journalist. Our country is in a critical period, and as we next week we move into the May turn senatorial.
So we have is it 2 days? No, 6 days.
6 days
to the special
6
senatorial
days
election
to this
2020.
exactly.
Yeah. So it's good that we start to talk about it as journalists, so that people can get a feedback of what is happening. So Bagla going to be joining us through on some of the training issues as it relates to the election.
Exactly, and that's very pretty well, Mark. And quite very interestingly, you made mention about the challenge with our studio in Liberia, Monrovia, as regards to electricity.
Yeah.
And we can overemphasize on the apology to the viewers about the challenge we have in Liberia, that the country is challenged. We have a system that is not very efficient and effective.
Yes.
So is responsible for the challenges we are experiencing. And you know about the economic crisis in the country in the midst of the COVID-19 situation. Before the COVID crisis in Liberia, we had a serious economic crisis since the inception of President Weah government. The decline in the economy in the worst despicable state. Many of our people are vulnerable and could not get anything for themselves. When there is not electricity, you don't have major investment. You have a lot of businesses.
They depend squarely on private generator.
On private generator.
Private generator does not give
not a guarantee.
The full energy capacity that you need.
No,
exactly. For example, if you are operating a factory, a manufacturing company, you don't have to depend on a local generator. It won't develop. It won't generate the needed capacity that you need, for example, to melt an iron.
You can get that done, and that is one of the reasons we have serious problem. You can run the country on a private generator, and that's what's happening.
It's difficult.
And that's what's happening to. It's basically a serious problem that is hampering the media landscape and many other businesses in our country today, that they are faced with this enormous challenge of effective and efficient electricity. The government have not basically been able to improve on the facility that was initiated for former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The situation is is not transformer problem. Yeah. It is something fuel and it's crazy. It's a serious compound complex situation, and the reason why most Liberians are living in dark is because of lack of systemic mechanism and the innovation on the current government to have made significant gains.
So it speaks volume that this time around we should elect people that will ensure that these difficulties that we are talking about can be somehow alleviated to some extent.
Exactly, and that's the reason why we call this special time to talk, and thank God that his miraculous intervention has brought us back on to the viewers to talk about the trending issues in the country. Mark just mentioned that I will be here Tuesday and Thursday by the grace of our Heavenly Father to present the case of some of the issues trending in the country, most especially in these critical moments where we are going to a midterm senatorial elections and coupled with 2 by-elections. We got 2 by-elections. One is in Macerado County, Electoral District 9, and one is in Grand Crew County.
Yeah.
The two by-elections, one the fallen CDC representative, a state woman.
There are two CDC representatives,
Yeah.
both deceased.
Yeah, just deceased.
Because later Nangbe Slow
Nangbe was a CDC.
Yes, he actually won on
On
the
the-
Middle Party ticket,
Uh-huh.
but later on he joined a coalition
For Democratic Change.
CDC.
So CDC,
He was a
CDC, yeah, he was a CDC lawmaker.
So Mona, as we all know, Mona was
A very-
born sedition. Actually, she won in 2011 at the age of 27.
Exactly.
As one of the youngest, of candidate then, and then she subsequently got re-elected in 2017.
So she had been a two-time lawmaker,
Yeah.
Two-time lawmaker.
Yeah, unfortunately, death snatched her away.
Yeah.
So so it means that we Liberians on the 8th of this month will be electing 17 persons or
17.
17 individuals.
Yeah.
Now occupied 17 seats. 2 from the House of Representatives and dialogue for 15 from the Senate.
Exactly. And that is the critical point and where we are. And that is the reason why we are here to talk to you about the trending issues. The first issue we'd like to pick up, Mark, is we start with the National Elections Commission. The National Elections Commission is responsible for all electioneering activities in the country. And we have team of commissioners that have been appointed by the president of the country.
It is the only commission by the Constitution of Liberia
Yeah.
that the Constitution of Liberia talks about.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives the president the constitutional power to appoint commissioners as head of the National Elections Commissions and team of commissioners who are expected to conduct the elections. So the problem right now is with the National Elections Commission, the collaborating political parties, and many other issues. We'll go into the specificity of some of the trending politics that is unfolding in our country. But let's move on to what the National Elections Commission, what the latest action from the political parties, the collaborating political parties.
Yes, the political parties, that's the collaborating opposition political parties. There are 4 of them. This afternoon in Liberia, specifically at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 2 p.m. today, they held a press conference wherein there were several statements made. So these are some. We're going to be talking about some of those.
Yes, exactly.
Statements. For example, the chairman of the coalition, not the coalition, but the collaborating parties, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, talk about the cancellation of the referendum, calling the president to ensure that the referendum is not held on December 8th, because according to him, Liberians are yet to understand the full are yet to get some clarity about the referendum.
Okay, what I think about what do I think specific about what Alexander Cummings said about the national referendum is a major issue, and the government, and that is one of the major problems that we had with the National Elections Commission. The commission have not been very sensitive and more responsive in their duty as regards to what it means to go for a national referendum. Now, the basic problem of the national referendum is the aspect that got to do with civic voter education component of the referendum.
Yeah.
Have the National Elections Commission lived up to the task? No. The commission have not lived up to the task of providing the basic civic voter education. And the government, those in the executive branch of government are campaigning for people to vote yes for the referendum. Why there have been absolutely no basic civic voter education about
it
the
means
process.
what the executive branch of government is doing is the executive branch of government, instead of giving duty on the referendum, is only concerned with the clauses or with the propositions, the aspect that say yes in their interest. This is from this backdrop that the the opposition is having some problem with.
Basically, and that's the issue. That is the contending issue that some of us in the media have gotten problem with the National Elections Commission and the government. Now, the government cannot think for the people.
Yeah.
You cannot put yourself in the decision independently. And what is required of the National Elections Commission is for the National Elections Commission to basically disseminate the requisite information through the civic voter education component for the people to understand what it means to have the propositions to vote yes or no. That is quite very important. When the people are sensitized entirely about the entire process, we will not have problems. But there is the National Elections Commission has so far been pussyfooting in its responsibility when it comes to the voter, the civic voter component about this. There have been absolutely no sensitization about the process. The people are not informed about it, and this is incorrect, is uncouth, and is intended. It appears to be that the government have a sinister motive. That is the reason why the people
Yes,
have been lacking the basic information about the
certainly,
process.
certainly.
You can't run the government like that. You can't keep
Yeah.
the people in the state of darkness. You are under obligation. If you can conduct the election and focus on the elections, basically the
You
national
should, you should create some level of education instead of just focusing on one side or saying like, oh, I listened to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Minister McGill, saying that mandating all commissioners, chiefs, and
is
heads
very
of
unfair.
all
Very,
of the,
very
all of the
unfair.
15 of districts, I mean, of counties in Liberia, to to call on their people to vote yes
It is
in the referendum. I don't know what's the rationale.
it sounds more autocratic and imposing your will on the people. No, in democracy, we allow the people to think for
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
The government is under the obligation to provide the basic civic education, simple, so that people can be able to rationalize. You don't be
No way.
you can't come from the office of the president to say, look, your vote yes and X, Y, Z to everything, and so to speak. It shows that there is a sinister plan, and that is a calculated plan intended to promote setting sinister motive on the part of the executive. That is the reason why people are building the perception about that. It's not very civilized on the part of the minister. It's very uncouth of him to proceed in such a manner. And I think it is troubling, and our people should, and that is the reason why the collaborating political party are calling. I think the
Yeah.
referendum should be done in a separate manner. The referendum should be done entirely excluded from the midterm
The election.
and midterm election. So to give the people a
But
wider
again,
concept.
they are saying that the government envelope size is not big. So
But then if you can't,
it is not able to do both referendum separately and that of the meeting election separately.
but then of course the voter education component, I mean, is lacking. So it means that if you cannot do it, you cannot do it entirely. It means that you should not do it haphazardly, because anything that is done haphazardly is not done at all, and you are not going to get the requisite result. It will not be the reflection of what the people really want. There will be people going. We have a gullible and illiterate society. Sorry to say this, that a lot of people don't understand basically some of the thing what it means to go to a referendum. Some of the kids are just 18 and will be going to the referendum for the first time, so they may not have a basic scope of operation. Who is responsible to do that? The government of Liberia. They have the sole responsibility. They have been posted voting. You can't say you have lack of money and then you want to conduct a national referendum. It doesn't make no sense. And I think it's just been irresponsible on the part of the National Elections Commission. It proved to many of us that there is something wrong with this issue of. I mean,
So
it does have the proclivity for people to question the integrity of the National Elections Commission when it comes to neutrality and dispensing their responsibility,
yes,
and that is worrisome. And I think, Mark, what we need to do is that the civil society, the civil society, the religious grouping need to add a voice to come up and to talk about this issue. I've gotten problem with the referendum. I think it's unfair for us to even go to a referendum when the people do not have the access to information. Our mothers must understand that our mothers need to hear it in the vernacular.
yes,
Now,
certainly.
most of our parents don't speak English, and as the government is doing. The president had one billboard, many billboards out, and his photo is on the billboard, and he's
fact,
advocating for people
in,
to vote
yes,
yes,
in fact,
and that should not be the case.
what people knew about this from the initial stage was that the president picture was on the referendum ballot. That was the only ballot that people knew about, and telling the Liberians vote yes. And that confuses the voting public on a serious note, actually.
And that I mean that really confuses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a state of perplexing
Yeah.
nature for the entire referendum process. So the country is in problem. Liberia is in problem because we are not doing anything properly. There's nothing.
Sure.
Now, if you say that we don't have sufficient money for referendums, these are politicians from the ruling party are spending a lot of money.
Yes.
For instance, the candidate on the CDC ticket in Mazzarado County is spending a huge lump sum of money on campaigning. The entire government is campaigning and for the candidate in Mazzarado County, because Mazzarado County is the microcosm of the ballot politics in the country. So the contending issue is that CDC has lost control of Mazzarado County. They lost control of Mazzarado County, bringing the CPP candidate to have won the seat in Mazzarado County.
Okay, so let's talk about the National Elections Commission, because this is the body of government that is dealing with the electoral process, and this time around, it has been receiving barrage of criticism from legal luminaries, from experts, and so forth. On the 18th of November, the Supreme Court of Liberia handed down the ruling headed by Justin Chimod, Yusuf D. Kaba, upheld the CPP argument that the government of Liberia was deviating from the clear language of resolution of the legislature by combining and considering the 8 propositions to 3 categories, which are quite contrary to the provision of Article 92 of the Constitution of Liberia. And this led to the Supreme Court of Liberia issuing a mandate saying that no, you remember the proposition were 4 instead of 8 initially.
Sure.
And that made the Supreme Court to say no, you are in serious error, National Elections Commission. We said 8. And those 8 propositions, they should have specific ballots. Yeah. These are some of the conflicting situations that continue to hamper this year's election.
And it's going to have it's going to have a ripple effect on Liberia democracy. It's going to keep the country in ham waves, and there's going to be a future problem if we go to this process, because even the Supreme Court actions is troubling for the country.
Yes,
we are not seeing anything that is reflective of the tenet of democracy. Yes. This is a democracy that should be models and practiced widely, so our people should understand what basically we meant for the country. Mind you, we have made so many mistakes in the past when it comes to the country making decisions. Decision making is a critical aspect that needs to be taken very keenly, because the country is in harm with economically, politically, and that is becoming catastrophic for us. Yeah. We can't afford to continue to allow people to impose the will on the Liberian people. Anything that is not being done properly, I continue to say, is not done at all. And we see, even on the bench of the Supreme Court, we see some decisions that are coming out of it that have a serious repercussions on the entire country. And people are contending the issues and trying to make vague intellectual bluff about the reality of the issue. That doesn't make sense. We need to go to the specific of the issue, address the major points, and see how best we can find a remedy to help the CDC government to make the corrective measures, not to satisfy individual interests, but to put the country first as well.
Yes, indeed, we need to put the country first. If you just joining us, you're watching LPR Television, that's Liberia Public Radio Television. We are live online at www.liberiapublicradio.com. We're also on Facebook at Liberia Public Radio Facebook page. On YouTube, our live page on YouTube as well. If you can go there and watch up and post and share the links. We are also on Twitter at LPR at Arrow Radio 2019 at Arrow Radio 2019 is where you can go on Twitter and watch the program here on Liberia Public Radio Television. Is coming up to 2:31 Eastern Standard Time or 6:31 local time here in Monrovia. We want to say good evening to you in case you are monitoring us from Monrovia. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back. Hopefully, we're going to be talking about some of what we have in
Exactly.
store for the 2020 election. We're going to be doing some special program here.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Let's take the breather and be right back.
Yes, so let's take a breather and be right back. Keep monitoring us on LPR TV in case you just joined me.
You turn
Okay, welcome back. Sorry for the break-in there. We are back with the continuation of the training issue live on LPR television. If you want to participate, the lines are there. The lines are open. The number is there. You can put your calls on that. It's also WhatsApp. Also, our local viewers can also call that number. We're going to be ending on in 15 minutes time. This is just a prelude of what we're going to be doing. So, Bagley, let me just let the cat out of the bag. Coming up on okay. Let's take this break to do some adjustment here. Welcome back to LPR Television. Sorry for that. Coming up on the 8th of December and to the 9th, which will be the election date, and that of the post-election, we're going to be here on election day analysis and that of the post-election day analysis. So Liberia Public Radio Management is launching a fundraising. We want to have a series of programs that we're going to be having here and connecting all of our 18 correspondents and reporters, including our contributors in Monrovia. We're going to be having them from different parts of Liberia to ensure that they get every bit and pieces of what we're going to be having the election day and that of the following day. So we will. The management team, the board in the US has initially announced this, but I'm just adding up my voice to them. Our CEO, Mr. Francis Janso, has initially announced this, and also our general manager, Mr. Nathaniel Cray, will also echo this. And so we are launching this fundraiser, and they will give you the appropriate number that if you wish to contribute to it, and that if you wish to contribute to this water course, that you can make your own little donation to Liberia Public Radio to enable our reporters to move around. The need of the data, the need phone calls they're going to be making. Imagine the number of data that we usually burn here. If we just Liberia Public Radio, though it's a non-profit organization, but we solicit your support to enable us to provide a clearer analysis about this particular election. So, Mr. So will actually echo this later on during the week, and also tonight, hopefully on Mr. Sansi Branto program, which will be on later on 8 o'clock California time, 8 p.m. California time. He's going to talk about this as well because this is very much important. But reporters the who are going to be moving here and there. There's a need that they be amended with certain funding. Back.
Exactly. We can overemphasize about the what we need for the public, our viewers to do. The electioneering process is very expensive, especially when it comes to the reportage. Reporters are going to be outstation is in the 15 South
Yes,
Division
yes,
of the
yes.
country. So basically, we have to get our reporters transported and making report on the spot report about the coverage of the
Live
election.
video feed will be coming from the
And
field as well,
obviously,
like we normally do in some of our programs.
yeah, obviously, you have to have some of the viewers informed with the live videos and the analysis about the events.
Yeah.
The election is so much it's expensive for the media because it requires a lot of money to get the data and to get the transportation to get the pat down for the reporters. So I think it's very imperative.
And in this case, we are not even concentrating
Of
bit of
course,
lunch and internal transportation.
internal
We
transportation
are not doing
because
external transportation for
yeah,
them.
that is going to be handled
So,
entirely.
yeah. The official number for a donation will be announced later on by our CEO. But in case you want direct you to where you can make your contribution. Actually,
Okay, that's great. And so that is the aspect of the election. That is the preparatory stage of the process that should be resuming on the 8th of the 7th of December, because the reporter will be deployed on the 7th, and then after the 14th at the prisons area and the polling places. They're going to be coming back, waiting for it to be tallied. A few things that we need for this election, which is very important. I have come that Liberian people need to vote for people with integrity. Uh, there are candidates that have serious, terrible character,
yes, definitely.
miscarriages of characters. And in order for us to make Liberia better, it's not about your party. It's about the proposal of the candidates, and it's about what they have done over the number of years, the track records.
Sure.
Many of the candidates have not had an impeccable track record in public. It's not something for you to amass wealth. And in Liberia, it's a culture of people benefiting at the expense of the old people, at the expense of the ordinary people from public service. Now, public service is a distinguished and honorable and respectable place to help to provide better public service and public facility through your leadership ability. In Liberia, we have had a misrepresentations of characteristics of individuals in public service. The government in Liberia have not in any way in front of man has made an impressive performance when it comes to the livelihood of the Liberian people. I can see that for fact. Now, why am I providing these analyses? Not because I want to denigrate the government,
Sure.
not because I hate the president, but because I am a patriotic, responsible Liberian journalist and want our people to be emancipated so that the better thing can happen to the children who have not been having the opportunity to go to school right now. In the country, we have a huge vulnerable population of some of our babies who cannot, the parents cannot afford to get in school because there is no job opportunity. The economy is so bad off, and parents are not even working. Now, I want to say this to you for fact, folks. In Liberia, there haven't been any major investors coming to the country to create job opportunity for the poor people.
Sure.
The
Sure.
government have a policy called the poor agenda. The interpretation of the poor meaning for the
For the
poor,
poor people.
to commemorate the life of the
But
poor
are we
people.
seeing that? Are we seeing that?
That is a complete paradox. It's a contradiction. All we can see visibly
Mm.
is people in the
Few hands.
echelon of power, selected few individuals are amassing wealth at the detriment of the poor people
Yeah.
and want to perpetuate themselves in power with this political thing. Now, Mark, if you take a keen perspective and look at Liberia for sure, look at Monrovia, or just go outside the capital. I was trying to take an analytical perspective of what happened in the country right now when it comes to the midterm election. The whole country is being militarized. What do I mean by that? The young guy,
Is it by the regalia they
the
are
rega-
wearing?
they have,
Is
oh,
it because they are regalia? They are wearing some regalia.
yes, and this is a wrong indoctrination of politics. It happened in South Africa. When you saw the South African, that was a different case in point. It was Nelson Mandela, racial discrimination, and they was in a real revolutionary political struggle to emancipate the people. It was about racial discrimination. It was about ending any apartheid. It was for the white man and the black man to sit down together and have an amicable way. Right now in South Africa, we have the white people in the House of Parliament. We have the black people in the House of in the Parliament. It's because
But unlike in the past,
it was a different struggle. In Liberia, we idolize the politicians. We don't believe in a political system. We believe in individuals, and people are tying the political party
The
to
individuals are the faces of political parties in
parties.
Liberia.
They
Unlike
don't,
other
yeah,
countries,
they don't build the institution. Right now in Liberia, it's not about the CPP. It's not about the CDC. It's about the individuals' characters. Now, the CDC is about George Weah, because people want George Weah desire to be a common. While President Weah does the wrong thing, the federal don't want to say what is wrong. The stimulus package for the people during the COVID-19
yeah,
crisis.
I mean, this is one thing. I don't know how far the distribution has gone because
There is no distribution. There is no
we
distribution.
understand that few communities did benefit from the distribution process.
And Mark, let me be very clear to our viewers and let us be very unequivocal with them. The government mismanaged and played mockery of the people in the midst of the heightening vulnerable crisis of COVID crisis in this country. Our people entirely never benefited from the stimulus package, according to the president, Winston Tape, who is now being sent out the EPA. They refuse to address the situation of the people. The government renege on a responsibility. If a government that cannot commit itself to the responsibility of the people, that government is a irresponsible government. It's not to insult, but it's describing the attitudinal posture of the government as regards to the immediate needs of the people. No government must make the people vulnerable, know that the people vulnerable, call us vulnerable people, and cannot identify our needs when you are supposed to provide similar food package. Some of you watching the screen now, watching LPR radio, call us and tell us when some of you, if you benefited from
Yeah.
the
Especially
stimulus food
for
package.
people here. I was in my community. Let me just give one example. In my community, then when I was residing here in Painesville, uh, those people came and took our names. Though I'm not for the category of vulnerable people, but people, my neighbors, houses were marked, and the number of people there were taken. But since then, it has been more than 6 months now. I haven't seen anybody going there to ensure that they get a couple of rights.
No, nobody have benefited. The people have not. The government plays play mockery of the Liberian people. Right now, the government of Liberia, the president is interested in a candidate in Masurado County. I'd like to talk a little bit about Masurado Party kind of candidates and the candidate in Masurado. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm going to tell you that you should open your minds and don't vote for people that don't mean well for the country.
Okay, let's go to the line to talk to this person. Okay.
We have a first call on the line.
Hello, Mike. Talk it. Good evening, gentlemen, to my background, Mike, and the rest of the folks out there. Thank you so much. This is sort of awareness we are looking for. And I've been monitoring, and basically, these are the things that we should be doing to post in the media. And I can no longer agree with most of all what you have said. Relative to the electoral process, we have been having this sort of conversation from time to time. It is very clear for Ambassador that is fairly right. So people in the U.S. and other parts of the world, the election is a very, very costly event. It's not like in Liberia, not like USA, where you have agencies, subsidies are being rendered to the media institutions. If it's happening in Liberia, well, that I do not know. There must be some sort of interest, but I don't want to speak to that. But what is important here, Liberia Public Radio has a history of always involved in major community initiatives, whether it's for our own behalf or other water costs. And we have been doing from time to time at the onset, being involved in election coverage. And so this information is no exception to what we want to do. So it's good that we really put this information out. It's kind of crazy on what area what is developing, movement is limited, and a lot of things involved. In understanding, we are not looking for that much. We always try to get going by ourselves. But like you and Baco just said, these guys, they are running services. You have to, use your own conscience and judgment to help to facilitate transport them from one place to another. They need a bit of water to drink. They're not going to be out there all day without anything and stuff like that. It's a complete ultimate sacrifices. You guys are rendering. There's no question about that. So we just want people to see that reason the 18th reporters, analysts, contributors, we here are going to be taking a day of doing everything possible so that we can coordinate. And our basically is to bring the real happiness to themselves, the viewers and listeners, right before they have radio rooms or dining room table, to give a sense of what is happening in Liberia. So the numbers, put a number out there for Liberia. Liberia can contribute as well. People in the USA, the number is capped out. If you even want to make a debate, we take all funds. I want to give the cash, fine. If you say, okay, well, I have $20, I have $15, I want to put a credit on one of the reporters, device to be used. We highly appreciate that. All you need to do is just let us know, and we can, whatever number that we use that day to device and will be going on or more than, we will let them know. I hope that we echo this on Sunday. As I think right now, I'm off air this whole week. Unfortunately, long time on a lockdown. Also, you see the multiple things we do at the same time. It is what it is. So, but for those of you there, you keep carrying communication, keep putting out there. I mean, I know there are some good folks there. I know there are a lot of good folks that follow us on our activities and the professionalism that we bring to the table in terms of news dissemination that will bring us the credibility from this American to come forward. And I'm already getting some signal that I know is going to happen. It doesn't matter of time. It doesn't matter how much people contribute. We always go forward to what people do for us. When we solicit in the interest of national cost. And that's the history we have. And that's what we intend to do. We intend not to be away from that because media has a very crucial role in any democracy, in any society, in any happenings in the country. So, and we keep eyes on that, making sure that the news is proportional, exactly proportional. We are hoping that something will happen. So I want to thank you, back and the rest of the folks out there, the guys outside of Nairobi, different countries, reporters, and all of that, for your enormous sacrifices. It's a complete sacrifice. We're not on salary. We're doing it because the Lord is profession. So I just want to thank you. I just want to add up to date. And we'll also talk to the other folks here that will be on to reach back to that. And the two numbers are there. You can contact the 682-433-8802 in the USA. It's on Cash App. And as well as the 77 number for folks in Liberia who also wants to just give whatever time information to help to facilitate the coverage of the highly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And the good thing, my management on the other side granted me the 8 off, and so coming back on the start all day, all night. I'm going to be in touch with you guys to make sure that Okay, but Doctor, thank you so much. I think your articulations on the issues is support. And Mike, thank you so much, and all of the rest of the guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean,
head of Liberia Public Radio, who is calling on, he's calling for contribution. For the matter of fact, this is not much. We don't need much. To satisfy
Mark.
We don't need plenty of money.
Mark, this is
need something that will enable you. We don't say give it to us. If you can say, oh, okay, how much it takes to transport SYC reporter to this from here, for example, from Monrovia to Kakata, or from Kakata to Banga, we can give it to you. You can that funding, you can give it to that reporter square.
Exactly.
So it's not something that we do it for ourselves.
In Liberia,
Yep.
the media, there are. I will come back to some of the hardcore issues. I'm not forgetting.
Yeah,
But I'd like to congratulate Mr. So. Thank you for your compliment. We demonstrate our patriotism, and we are prepared to use this medium to fight for the country, to ensure that we champion the cause of our people. There are people with integrity. There are people with respect in Liberia, and we demonstrate that through our professionalism and the quality of service that we want. This is public service, Mark.
Yes,
This is
certainly
public service.
service.
It is a public service.
This is why
Public
we have
service.
Liberia Public
Yeah,
Radio,
yeah. This
you
is
know?
public service.
Yeah.
Anybody work in the media, you're providing service to the public. Maybe in Liberia they say you are honorable when you in the House of Senate, and it's honorable, but people does they think that is dishonorable.
Yeah.
And so we will encourage you, if you are interested, you can help us. We want to see our best to ensure that we give our people the requisite information. To get them in the Leeward Council, we have 15 political subdivisions. We want to have strategically our reporter posted at the major points. We want to be on top of the information.
Those places are that broadband internet connection.
Yeah, broadband internet
connection.
connection.
We'll be using
phone calls. It is imperative. These elections are not baby election. There is no baby election, Mark. No baby election. So I think we appeal to the management if we can do this maybe in the course of the week.
Yes.
In the course of the week. Into this week to see how best we can raise the awareness and enlighten our people and see how they can look for to give us some generosity of help in helping in Liberia. Yeah, those of us who can help, those of you in the diaspora, you can help as well. And so it's very important. So I think we'll sustain the argument. Tomorrow again, tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm not too sure, but I will have to come tomorrow. I think this is a service, and I always see this as a selfless passion to do it. So tomorrow, in the evening hours, I could celebrate my birthday by talking what I love to do best, by talking, advocating, and fighting for the country. Mark, you want to say something before I proceed?
Yes, I was trying to hear from our reporters, two of them at least, in Banga, our Central Liberia Bureau Chief, Bertin and Daniel. They both have been very busy, the electoral process there. Daniel was is in Sannikole where the president, I'm told the president today went.
Yeah, so in Sannikole, they're doing a groundbreaking and so.
So somebody is on this line. I don't know whether this person is actually. Hello, caller. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. I don't think this
is a private call.
For the airwave.
But Mark, what worries me about Liberia is about the perception of our people and the way politicians play politics with the life of our people.
Certainly.
And I've gotten to realize that the politicians, some of them think that we are crazy people and we are stupid people and dumb-headed people. We sit here to allow them to do things just because of they want to enrich themselves at the expense of the poor people. Can you imagine that politician was not building roads? They're using the campaign period to come in community and say they're fixing roads for the people. When did they realize that?
That's $1 million.
When did they realize that that road was important in community? Some of them are giving money. They're throwing out heavy money, and our people are captivated about it. They
have become political pacified.
Yeah, they tend to be political philanthropics. They get situationally generals in campaign period. They only look forward to see the people. We are so poor in the country that we see anything as an opportunity. Somebody said they give you $20, you $20, you run in there, you see that as an opportunity, give you $2 already. The man can spend the money. Yeah, the man can spend the money. The man give up money.
Man is good.
The man good. Liberia Electricity Corporation is responsible to provide light. Nobody will tell you, say, they come into your community, they want to be senator, are coming and we're going to bring transformer. That's not a work for him to bring transformer.
No way. So today I watched, I saw on the social media, I think from some of the lawmen, from a minister, an assistant minister saying that the president has launched a transformer campaigning. So I don't know when did the president start to ensure that, Because I know about
They try to they try
that
to
have been without transformers for
for
some years.
yes. I mean, I've been out of current almost a year now.
Yeah.
Look, Mark, let me tell you this. There's a deception. It's a high degree of deception. They don't respect the masses. If they respect us, the government will be fighting to do things ahead of election for the people. They will not be projecting the candidate to come and say he's going to build rules. He's the new public work minister. He's carrying the government thing around and say, "I greater in rule." You think you're trying to make mockery of the Liberian people and say you're going to create a bill rule at a time when you know that when you know that if there's the work of the public work. I would like to call names, and I'm not afraid of anybody.
Yes.
I like to call him Mark. Let's lower that fan a little bit. I think the feedback is coming.
Yes.
But
No,
listen. Honorable Thomas Fala is a candidate on the CDC ticket. No disrespect to him.
Yeah.
He don't respect the people of Maserati County.
Oh.
He don't respect the people of
That we should
Maserati.
have your own reason. But
I can say it. I'm not here to blackmail. I'm here to say the fact of the matter. He is the one who is going around and the people calling the new political APM machine, NTM machine, throwing money around.
I mean, I think he has clarified that he's not an ATM machine.
By the way, you don't have to say your ATM machine. By the way, demonstrate. Now, Mark, this is the man. Okay, tell me for sure. Those of you in the diaspora, tell me for sure. If I come to public service, I was an ordinary man, never had anything, had a CV of poverty. My mom bought me, she was poor, she was earning in the market. My pa was a little known character who was a peasant laborer. And then I was an ordinary man selling and doing the petty business to survive. I didn't have nothing of my own. I live in a one bedroom house. And I come to public service in a split second. I build everything for myself. I got in a school. This is a man I pay a school. Is in his name.
Okay, but we'll come to that.
You know,
I want for us to take it bit by bit before.
Anyway,
it seems to be like we are targeting.
No, we are not targeting. We are only targeting the wrong people, Mark. We are targeting the wrong people.
We're going to talk about this. We're hoping that Honorable Fala himself will appear on this network, probably via our video link or probably live in studio. So maybe some of these questions can be posted to him so that he can answer it, because people have accused him of building school for himself.
No.
Though all of what we are saying, they are all accusations.
No. It's not accusation, Mark. No, let me say this for fact.
The school is
let me say that for fact.
The school and that of the university, they are part of his contribution to the district. So
no, Mark.
I don't want for her to go to the.
No, I know we can't go to the. I think just say something to clarify certain things, to provide and let people, let intellectuals and let nationalists. I mean, some people are intellectual; they are not nationalists.
Yeah.
If you come to public service and you build everything for yourself, you build a school not for the district that you represent.
Yeah.
You build for yourself. You build a university for yourself. It's in your name. It's your personal property. When you were out of politics, you never had anything for yourself like a school, like a university. But you come, you get everything in your name. It's your personal property.
This is
over a decade plus. How can you reconcile that? What have the people benefited? Have they benefited public latrine? Have they benefited a public library for kids to go and read books? They said this is in honor of the district and it's for the public. It's not in my name. It's not my personal property. The district people, when I leave from there tomorrow, are not representative. The next person who comes there will be able to manage it, and they will be managed by the people. Okay. Mark, for God's sake,
so
man.
We just.
I don't want to go into the specificity of that. I don't want to, because people see it as a tag and an XYZ. I just
we're going to analyze.
Public service.
Fala is one of the main contenders. So we want to look at it. The two main contenders. We're going to start maybe this county by county like we did before the full listing.
I think we need to do that. We need to do that. We need to, and I'm going to look at that, Senator Dillon. We're going to go to Little Senator Delon. He spent 8 months in the Capitol building as a lawmaker.
A year.
Okay,
Because
a year.
I think because
A,
he
a,
went there in
a year.
August of last
What
year.
have he done?
Yes.
What have been his advocacy? What impact have he made? Is he an impact? Look, election is about impact. Election is about integrity.
Has he lived up to the task?
Yeah, has he lived up to the task? Impeccable.
Some of those things that he said he's going to provide, has he done them?
Mark,
So these are some of the issues that will
all over in the country.
from this week all the way to the election day.
All over in the country, public service, all over around the world, public service. If you want to get rich, you go to the United Nations, you go to UNICEF and other places, go in the private sector and get rich. The government job is not intended to amass wealth.
Unfortunately for us
In Liberia, we need to disabuse the minds of our people.
It's a different case.
It is a different, it should not be a different case. We're not different from other people in the world. So if we take it to be a peculiar situation, where it means that it's unique to us, it's not unique to us. We need to dismantle the barrier of corruptibility. There's vices that kept our country beneath. Many of Liberian people, majority of the people live on Ringo belly. Our kids do not have money. Our parents don't have no job opportunity for young people. No job opportunity for young people. How many graduates? No vocational component of education to empower the young people to get basic education to go to school.
Okay.
You see, these are things that are happening in the country, and we are living a despicable life. Can we continue to live in our life and grow premature gray hair and be an underachiever in our country and be beggar? That's the reason why the politicians want to keep us poor.
Yeah.
When they keep you poor, Mark, you see small thing, you see small thing, they kind of get you 200 a year. You look at AC as an opportunity. Your reasoning for integrity have been erased. You elude your reasoning for integrity. We don't have an integral society. We need to have a renaissance, a rebirth of the Liberian society. New generation is a generation champions need to evolve so that we can make Liberia a wholesome and functional society. I really appreciate the platform. I hope, Mark, I'd like to thank you.
Yes, sir.
And
I
mean,
not to thank me, but thank
I'm thanking you first because
technicians,
yeah,
and
you know,
who have been showing behind the scene, that have been showing that things work up so that we can be here. But again, the big glory go to the Almighty God that have been given us strength so that we can do some of these things. So, we are hoping that you can make a contribution. Yes, Joseph Paul, for example, you are saying both the media, the ruling party, and the opposition have a responsibility to educate the people on that important issue, not only the government. Okay, we agree, but once empowerment, you are empowering us. This is why we are saying ensure that you make a little contribution to this, so that at least we can be able to continually advocate and continually have some level of education for our people. It takes each broadcast, for example, we do here, it takes not less than $70 to $80. Imagine electricity costs in Liberia or the data to stream on YouTube, to stream on Twitter and other social media platforms. Just take into consideration. So it's a difficult thing actually. So we need your help too. Yes, we'll continue to do them, but we need your help too.
Mr. Paul, let me say this. The media has been playing a very pivotal role. The media is the most vulnerable sector in our country. The reason why you see some of us still solely because we got integrity and we're pushing for the fact.
Yeah.
The reason why you see us coming sometimes critical on the government is not that we hate the president. Not that we hate the president. We overwhelmingly voted the president, gave them mandate of authority. Some people misconstrue our criticism to be very destructive. We are constructive. We are being involved in the vanguard of promoting constructively and engaging the government in a constructive manner. We are being educating our people. The issue about voter education in our country, no media can survive with all illiteracy. Many of the radio stations and the newspaper out there are not functional. They are going through. The country economy is bad. We don't have a broadcast market in Liberia where people do advertisement and people benefit from it. There are multiple media institutions that are striving. Some of it are being owned by politicians. If you don't have ownership of the radio station to propagate, there are people. That's why most of the young people are being used only to propagate the wrong thing for politicians. They use it then as a means of propagating the message and damaging people's character. For us, we stand and with selfless sacrifice for our country. We continue to educate our people. The reason why we're talking about and the referendum issue because our people have not been fully educated about referendum. The government is under obligation. How do you think the media will be empowered to disseminate the information about referendum? You think we have not been sitting on our platform raising our eyebrow and talking about
Several
referendum?
times we've spoken about this.
As a matter of fact, if we sit here and say there's no much publicity have been done, the government is in fact selective when it comes to distribution of who they want to operate with. The thing that somebody criticizes you, they are enemy to you. Why will you think that majority? Just put yourself in a situation. Why will you think that majority of us sit down and voted the president and we want to go against the president? You know how many wrong things happening right here in the country? We want the government to do the best thing because when the government is on the right trajectory, we always enjoy the positivity of the innovation of President we are in the CDC-led government. But when we sit here and see situation go worse and see ourselves watching the day pass by and the economy is bad and everything is a quagmire and people are there's a culture of impunity, people are dying from one point to another and people are giving a fairy tale to listen to, you think I would be happy as a Liberian man to sit down and see it? I would be a media talk show host and want me to be singing praise song? We will help, we are helping, we are being a complementing partner. We are being a partner of progress to the government of Liberia. The government can allude to that scenario that we are being helped, and we'll continue to engage the government constructively so that the right thing can be done because we want this president to succeed. When the president succeeds, the generation of people succeed. We don't, in the president fail, we all fail. So there will be no reason why we will blindfold our eyes on reality and want to bomb up and denigrate a young man that is trying to do his best. We are only sarcastic and we are only critical because there are a lot of excesses and the people are not listening to us. When you're not listening to us, we have to expose the evil because in China, when it comes to the presidency, you must come with mindset. If it's your poor, it's for the poor.
Yeah.
I know that economic situation, we know that things are hard. We're not saying everything President we are doing is wrong. There are some things that you have done we are very constructive. When wrong people, you're pushing for wrong people to get the power, when people suppressing other people and you want them to sit down, the country, there are only a few people enjoying the country. Let me tell you something, select a few individuals.
Certainly.
And so when we say, hey, because these are the negative vices that set bad blood in the society, it was the reason why Liberia went to war because there was a line of demarcation of segregation and people felt marginalized. We will not go back to war. We will talk. This is the open field of democracy that gave us the right to express ourselves and constructively engage the government. We are not going to support anything that is sinister.
Okay, Barkley, I think our time is up.
Mark,
thank you for listening to this training issues on the 2020 election on Liberia Public Radio Television. This program is also live on www.liberiapublicradio.com and also on our YouTube page, Liberia Public Radio, and also on Liberia Public Radio Facebook page live, and also our website on Twitter at Arrow Radio 2019. You can catch up also on Twitter as well. I want to say thank you for watching. About Cornelius Barkley, and I will be here tomorrow. Hopefully, we're going to be talking to Prophet. How do you call him again, Barkley?
Okay. That is the Muslim scholar that is currently visiting the country. His name Prophet Mohammed Awa. He met with the president. He's on a tour in the country. He's a Nigerian based in the United States. We hope to have Prophet Awa sitting with us to talk about his visit to a visit in the country.
I was reading something that the Muslims were divided over.
Yeah, the Muslims have been divided. Cabinet Jennings issue is a very trending issue. Cabinet Jennings was unconstitutionally removed. And these are some of the issues when we thought it was, look, these guys are problematic people. They don't like we are very patriotic. Don't mind us. We mean well for the country. And so, Mike, can I like to say something about my show?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Let me start with
the front line.
The front line show is going to be a very aggressive political show, and we say no foe, no friend, the truth. The front line is the modern encyclopedia of professional television broadcasting. Thanks to Mr. Alfonso Zienzo, thanks to Mr. Cry, thanks to my boss man, Mr. Mark Dan. Thanks to all of you and for affording us the opportunity to sit on this platform. The front line will be here Tuesday and Thursday, and also we have a show, a social love counseling program, that is intended to solve many problems people are faced with in love, relationship, romance, and all that. It should be coming on this Saturday called Back to Romance. I will be here with some young folks again to talk about love life is another problem in the world. If people are broken homes, people are unwanted pregnancy, and all of these things happening, have a negative culture and upbringing on the children, and some of these children get vulnerable. We're going to talk about back to romance. We'll talk about love and romance. It's quite interesting. The guy who sound very intellectual talking politics is going to talk about love and romance as well. But that is back to romance. We're going to be coming on this Saturday, hopefully. So thank you for viewing us. I look forward to be many times as possible. I've committed my time to fight on this platform, and I hope you appreciate me because I'm not a destructive guy and a productive Liberian journalist. Thank you very much for viewing. Thank you so much for affording us an opportunity to be on LPR television, Liberia Popular Radio as well.
Thank you.